All right, back at it on the rusty floor pans. So I've drilled out the spot welds going down the tunnel. You know, we're going to cut this floor pan about at this point here. Just a rough cut for now. Same thing on the other side. Spots welds drilled out. I split the two pieces of metal apart with a chisel. So what I'm looking at is down the tunnel here. It's going to get really close. I believe these two conduits are heater cable. This third one I'm not sure about, but they are really low, and there's a bracket down in there. This big one right here, that's the shift rod. I'm not worried about that. And of course, these are those bloody fuel lines. That's the main send. I think this is return, and that's that vapor line, which I'm not sure about. This toasty thing here is throttle cable, which will need to be replaced. So I just really don't want to cut into these conduits. So I think I'm just going to have to be super careful with a Dremel when I cut that center section of floor pan out. We'll see how it goes. Not too worried about fuel lines, well, except for them catching on fire. And you know, I'm going to put new fuel line in. So, and I noted that one of those brackets, you can see it back in there, appears to be broken. I'm not sure how that happened. Anyway, let me get the Dremel out and start cutting. See if I can get this off without damaging stuff or starting a fire. So now you can see a little bit better what's going on. The bracket is on this tube here, which is clutch cable. And it looks like it's been pushed forward to the front of the car and it's sheared off. So I suspect when they did a motor swap on this, they beat it forward to get more room to put the engine in. So I probably need to take a look at the other end of that and see how that's affecting the clutch. But removing that piece of metal helped a lot. What I did is I just used some wooden shims to pull this down. I was pretty careful with the Dremel. You can see how close that one conduit is right here. And still don't know the purpose of that because it's got nothing in it right here. So I have to figure that out eventually. Maybe for something that this car never had. I don't know. All right, let's keep cutting. All right, so yeah, good thing I was super careful because the heater control lever, you can see the two cables that go into the conduit, right? That is right at the bottom of the pan. And then this is a little indicator light with the insulation deteriorated. And of course your fuel lines. Still no idea on the mystery tube what purpose that serves. Looks like I'm about 1.5 inches off my mark. So probably do one more cut down the pan with a body saw, get that within 1/2 inch, and then we'll have to trim it one more time. I just want to make sure that mates up really good. I decided to investigate this clutch tube some more. You can see that's was where it was attached to the firewall, and all that's kind of bent out and everything. So I also need to evaluate the fuel lines and pulling them back through the tunnel. Is that something I need to do before? So I'm dropping this pan, and it's like a under chassis pan on the steering rack, and it's oddly 212 millimeters. I think that was a 14. And then this one over here is, somebody's replaced that with something else. I don't know what the heck it is. But I hadn't looked underneath here. And so you can see there's the fuel hoses up in there. So you got some access there. There's your master cylinder. Surely that's been replaced at some point in time. I'm not seeing that cable for the clutch pedal. That's inside the trunk. That's a fuel pump. So let me dig around here some more, because that conduit's got to pop out here somewhere. All right, let me keep poking around. Okay, so I pulled the front inspection plate off the tunnel, and when I take an inspection mirror and look back down the tunnel, I can see the clutch tube, the conduit for the cable, was attached to the side of the tunnel. I guess it'd be this side. I'm looking in reverse on a mirror, and that bracket, the little spot welds, they're sheared by somebody beating on it. I don't think it's an issue. I won't be able to pull it back right now because it's got tension from the clutch pedal itself and the springs associated with that, and also it's attached on the transmission. The good news is it appears to be working. I can feel the pressure plate. It's got really good pressure, so it's all mechanical, no hydraulics involved. So that it's going to be more of an issue of is it going to affect it later, if and when, which I replace the clutch, which I'll probably have to. So I think I've got access to just about everything inside of the tunnel. You've got a rear inspection plate. You can pull your shifter out, which is pretty darn easy. There's another little hole there where that heater control is. You've got a hole here where the wiring harness lays over. Another hole here. So I think the fuel lines and all that can be addressed later with minimal effort. I did solve one mystery, that vapor tube I was describing it as comes out here for some unknown reason. Not sure what that's all about, but that'll come out. I don't see any reason for it to be in there. So if somebody knows different, make a comment, please. I rust killed the bottom side of the longitudinals and the flange on the firewall. Got that cleaned up some more. I'm looking, of course, marking my holes for my spot welds, but where the two pans join together, the front and the back, front being existing, I think I'm going to lap those two pieces of metal together. I think I'll get more strength, and It'll be a hell lot easier to weld, that's for sure, than trying to do a butt weld all the way across there. On the other 914, I put the pan in. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I don't think I butt welded the whole thing. Another reason I'm making that decision, because if I'm putting this metal on top of the remnant of the old pan, right, because I didn't strip that out, that elevates the new metal that dimension. So that really sets you up to do a lap here. So I think that's the right course of action. Same thing, because you've got that remnant of the original pan. I'll be spot welding right along there. Of course, this section will be cut out later and replaced, but that really lends itself to doing a lap right there. So now that I've got everything marked as far as drilling out spot welds, I'm going to go ahead and drop the pan again and make sure I have a nice clean edge across here. I'll probably leave about a 1/2 inch, and that way when I get in there and do that lap, it'll look good, because if you're going to see anything, that's what you're going to see. Who knows if this car will ever get carpet or whatever. So I was able to get a nice clean edge with, actually use the Dremel, because the body saw is just bouncing around too much because of the, open span there. Cleaned it all up, put rust kill on it, and I've just got through putting weld through primer on the side that's going to lap. So that'll be it for today. We'll pick it back up tomorrow, and once I get the pan drilled out and get it primed where the metal comes together, I'll start screwing it in and welding it in.